We just completed the third day of IPM, and today is July 15th, 2016. The first team that came up was Kitchen Key, and it was really exciting to see them open up today. They had created a product that can fit around a stove and can help heat up whatever's cooking on it. It was an interesting product, but they didn't deliver it quite well, and the delivery could be very impactful. There was too much slide on the text, and they could have been more vocal about their USP.
A good product. They began with a making video first, and it seemed they had a great time as a team. The feedback video was good as well, and the product actually started making more sense when they came and demonstrated the product. And truly, the potential which the product has is definitely there in the market. And we discussed different modifications which could be made. Good product.
Yes, definitely. And the good thing about that group was that in the introductory video, they also said about the mobile covers and the background before they reached to the actual final product. So that was a good thing to hear about that. And the other thing good about that group was that they were able to explain the future plans as well, flex clip addition onto that thing. So it was a good presentation overall.
Yes, the presentation was very good, but the sequence could have been even better. First they showed the product and then the making video.
Yes.
But talking about just the product, when they actually demonstrated, we came to know how easy it was to operate. So it made more sense,
Right.
and it was a very good product. It could have been presented better, but the innovation aspect was fantastic. So I really, really liked the product. Talking about Team 2, that is the integral solution for laser communication. Basically, they talked about how Army can use various methods of common communication using laser and sound technology. So it was a nice idea to prevent cyber attacks, and they talked about how US and Israel Army are trying to make this product up. It was a good presentation and a good idea, and it can be very useful if they actually make it that way.
Definitely, it was a very crude product, but with a lot of modifications, they could do a lot with that product. So it's a very good idea which they had. And the good thing about their group was that they stated the problem by stating a survey. That was an actual factual evidence that we got, so that got us going, and that made us believe in the product even a bit more.
Yes, and I think they talked about the product journey, the journey from what they had initially decided to what they finally landed up. And the product, initially I did not understand what it was all about. But once they came and explained it at the table, so once the demonstration is made, that's what I've noticed in all the products. Once the kids start demonstrating the product, it's when they gain confidence and they're fluent with it. So excellent product. I have no idea what the potential for this product is, whether it still exists, it's already existing, or whether it has its limitations. But definitely they have taken something which is very offbeat, and that was very, very commendable.
I agree. I think it's one of the most innovative products I've seen. It's very exciting. And the fact that we've always studied this in theory, where light can carry information in physics, and it's always been pretty cool. They made it, and making it at this level, at this grade, is very, very exciting to see. Although the application might be a bit impractical because the Army needs something that's very strong.
Yeah.
But I think taking the courage to make a product like this was wonderful.
Easy lift.
Third team today was Easy Lift, and they call it a shopping bag with facilities. However, what we saw today was a shopping bag with a facility, and which was exciting because they had a little weighing machine on the bag so that you can weigh whatever vegetables or fruits or food item you put into the bag. I think it was a very interesting idea. They could have been more elaborate about it. They were pretty quick in the presentation.
I love the product. I think such a simple solution to such a common problem, source of worry, because vegetable buying, when we buy vegetables, we know how much we can get cheated. And and getting a balance, and then you can actually say, look, this is just 400 grams. I think one of the videos said 450 gram, 500 gram ke liye bhejata and 450. So that the product was very nice. And again, the same thing, when they bring it to the table, it all makes much more sense. And I think the innovation facilities would be the wheels on it and the balancer too. And I think the thought was to put a zipper like those bags inside each of the compartments. That was possibly the facility they're referring to. But a good product, of course, like he said, that they did not elaborate much, they did not explain much, they did not make any kind of a hoo-ha about the product. So it was a very quiet presentation, went by quick. But as a product, very good. I think I gave a 10.
Yes, definitely. And it's quite a simple product, so that's the good thing about it. And it's just a carry bag. But the thing is, I don't particularly agree with the pricing strategy. $1,000 for a market bag, which I thought it was a bit too overpriced. But obviously, if they think that that's viable enough, good for them.
The one thing I liked about the product was they focused on the current issue, the ban on plastic bags. So they were very aware about everything that's going on and how this could be an add-on on what is already happening. So it was well considered. The only thing is they couldn't show the demo because the product was damaged. So in market, there are great chances that the product might not actually be safe. So they have to work on the durability aspect, but the creativity was very good and the idea was fantastic. Moving on to Team 4, that is Burp, the cooking machine. The cooking machine was really exciting. They actually cooked the paneer tufani, and they gave it to us. The presentation was good, and they made certain innovations, as I said, from last year, although they had some difficulty. But then the overall idea, the usefulness is so good about the product, and they were confident. So the product was also good and the presentation matched up to that level.
Definitely. They had a few setbacks, and they definitely mentioned it, but they mentioned it quite a few times, and then there was one moment where one of them said that they have failed to improve as much as they wanted to. That's why they just increased their price by 1,000 rupees. So they just need to think about what they are saying. But there was one thing I particularly liked about that group was the PVC. It was quite creative.
Right.
Like there was old and new, so they had old music and then new music, and then for the old part they had black and white, and for the new they had like colorful, and then Jethani Devrani, so like a difference in generations. It was quite creative, so I definitely like the TVC.
Yes. A good product. We had seen the product last year, so the innovation which they probably brought in this year was making it smaller and introducing the cutter. I think the slicer or the cutter wasn't there last year, so this was brought in. And the others, of course, they couldn't do for obvious reasons, but the explanation was very good. We had a good presenter and somebody who was very expressive, so she expressed she spoke about the process, their strategy of their pricing. And the videos were fun, all of them. Actually, both the videos, I think the making a video was very interesting with that squeaky noise going on. And they're very confident children, all of them. And they're very comfortable with each other, and probably they do that in class, and so it's an extension of the noise. I think I've heard that noise before from Winnie. I think so. So this was an excellent product, if it takes off in the manner they're suggesting with coal and with the barbecue. It would be very good for all the target customers, all people who are like students staying far away from home, and the programmed recipes. That would be most amazing. That would be absolutely divine to have programmed recipes. In fact, I think even households with people, they would start buying the product and make the programmed recipe. So all in all, a good product. Potential is great, except that the innovations were not as many as you would imagine them to be.
Again, one thing that I really liked about this product was the fact that it was slightly futuristic. If they can make the program recipes the way they suggested, I think that would be the next 3D food printer we might see. So that was very wonderful to see. And in addition, they had a very good team dynamics. They were very good. I think they were good friends at first place before they were a good team. So that was very wonderful to see. I still have a little bit of doubt about how the product evolved from the first version of that. just because I knew the first version, and just because I had an impression about the first version, the second one that they showed today looked pretty good. I think without that, I might have a lot of more questions revolving around my head. But again, they acted like Apple. They reduced the size and increased the cost. So that was the one thing that I really liked about them. The next team was Zilliant Group's Home Solutions. And I think they were wonderful. They made two products. One was a tent with a solar-powered fan and a solar-powered light inside it. And another was a washroom, which was cheap and very useful to people and in rural areas, especially in slum areas in India where washrooms aren't existent. So I think that this was a great product. They had very simple slides. The solutions were great, and they had passion in their work. They were very passionate about it. At some level, when I asked them how willing are they to take the product ahead, they're quite not very sure about it. But I think when they would totally believe in their product, they would definitely go ahead. Otherwise, this was a great presentation.
Yes, similar opinion. You have very good products, and the demonstration outside, the demo outside was enough to convince of the worthiness of this product. And I thought that it added more value to this product because the underlying thought of helping people beyond oneself, that to be so aware at this age and to want to do something for others, I thought that was a very the plus point for this group. And of course, the students were very passionate, and they're not normally good presenters. They wouldn't be seen in any recitation competitions or anything on stage, but to be speaking something about their own product so passionately itself speaks volumes. So excellent product. I think we gave a 10. I think many of us gave 10 to this product. Yeah, great.
It was not just the product, but the thought on pricing as well, like the EMI pricing, which they wanted to, because of which they wanted to make it easier for the farmers or rural people who cannot afford, 1 lakh government quarters. So that was a very good thought. So they had everything synced up for the target market. So that was a very good thought on their part. And I really liked the print media as well. It was short, simple, snappy, everything in bullet points in a few words explained. So that's a good thing. That's a good way to convey about your business or a good way to convey about your product. So yeah, really good things all around.
Yes, and to add on that, they were, they had researched it well. They knew the materials they were using, and even when questioned about the related devices which were available, they were very confident in answering how their product is better. So the EMI policy, they had a plan for tie-up with banks, and they were very sure about the cause they are working for. So it was a great presentation because they were they had this belief in their product. So I like that. The product was very good. It is very helpful and socially innovative.
And before you go ahead, one quick point. These guys were the only guys to come back after their presentations, after all presentations were done, to talk about the connections that could be made to take their product forward. So that was wonderful.
Yes. The next team is Dynamic Home Cleaning Solutions. They had this 3-in-1 mop that cleaned and that can save time. The product is, the idea is good, it can help people save time and the elderly people, but the design part, I think it needs a lot of improvement, and the one thing that was lacking was a demo video or a live demo. So if they could have worked upon that, then it could have a better impression. So.
Definitely, there were some limitations to the product which they had made, and the other thing which I felt was that they have to be a bit more careful about their target market. If they are saying poor people and they are charging 1,550 rupees, so that's not exactly in sync with what they are saying. So they could have probably thought a bit more about that.
The presentation did not seem practiced. There were breaks in it, and even in one of the, I think it was a TVC, was it? I'm not too sure. Where the mother and so she suddenly finishes and then looks up at the camera as if it's not been practiced. The retake has not been done even to eliminate it. So a little bit of hard work needs to go into it to get better scores and to show, more involvement in the product. Media was okay. There was no demo video, as like Kerala mentioned. They did speak about the potential, what they could probably take the product to by adding water. And we would want to see the demonstration if possible.
I think they put a lot of hard work in fabrication, which was wonderful. But at some level, we started to see a lot of design flaws coming in. Like you cannot clean the corners or under the bed, and I think that comes in only when you don't know your customer very well. So one of the biggest thing for this group would be to understand and define their customer before they get into product. So if they knew their customer well, they would start to understand the problems the customers face. So I think that part was lacking. Otherwise, their hard work was visible, and only if they had been a bit more vocal during the presentation, it would have been fantastic. The next team is the Neotric Farming Cycle for Agro Solutions. I think this was a wonderful product. The only things I could write is great idea, awesome solution, great this, great that. I think I love the product because it's something that can actually help the farmers.
Right.
And it looked like an actual product. And seeing their demo videos and everything, I was absolutely stunned to see this product working and making a change. So I think if they can take this product forward, it would be fantastic.
The group started with good introductory slides where they eased the audience into the situation with the farmers, which is really not good. And with that, they generated that required sympathy and involvement. And we had a confidence presenter that makes a big difference because she could present all the thoughts without even referring to the slides. That's an amazing skill. It's an amazing skill because it's an art to present without even turning back once. She's not even done that even once. And she knew what slides were on. So that's the practiced speaker. And potential of adding water, same thing, good thought. They carried it further, and I like all the videos, the demo videos with the farmer and then them enacting the roles. So that was also very nice. And of course the get up of dressing up as farmers or more Indian. They had a good TV ad as well. So in all, an extremely worthy product, very good product.
Definitely, and as Nirman pointed out earlier, you should know your customer, and they knew their customers, and they know that their customers usually go to market yard, and they would have to give a demo over there. So that was very well thought on their part. And another good thing about their group was that they were quite open to changes. About, like, for example, when I asked them about the rice paddy fields where the cycles won't work, so they said that we would definitely change the model or change the way the cycle works, so add more thick tires and make it even more stable for the paddy fields and for even like for more moist grounds, so like different sort of ground moisture levels. So that was very well thought on their part, and they were quite open to the various changes that were suggested to them.
Yeah, and that got very good future plans, like adding a water dripper or something like that. So it was a very good product, and the best thing is they had this very nice team effort. So the confidence with which they presented was very good, and overall the product for innovation and for its usefulness would definitely score a 10.
Socially very useful.
Yeah.
Extremely useful.
The next team is Adventure Ballad, and the product was scooter and key locator. Now this product has got more than just one feature, security aspects and self-start. So, and also they gave a practical demo which was very good and very impressive. So they presented it well before even they started. The thing about the two-way locator, that impressed me a lot, and they started with we asked people what their problems were, so that could be seen in their presentation how practical the solution was. So I really liked the product.
Yes, the product was good, and the print media was good as well. And the
Right.
thoughts about their print media were really amazing as well. Like they would have similar print media being repeated over time, so that it gets hammered in a consumer's head, and like as soon as they see the name, they instantly think of the product. So that's a very good thought to approach a business and try to sell their product. The other thing I really loved about their group was the TVC. It was very funny, so that sort of grabbed the attention a lot and made the presentation really nice.
Very good product as mentioned earlier, very nice, and it was nice to see. It was a colorful group. Everything was in color, the brochure was in color, flawless like I mentioned. Absolutely no errors, absolutely no errors. And good speakers as well. We had some very good people, some presenters who explained very well. And Kushal, of course, was amazing because he has always been a very quiet person. and for him to speak and for actually do the demo on his own, amazing. So a good product.
I think they had a magical start when they started their scooter and everyone went wow. I think that was great. They knew how to present their stuff. But to an engineer's eye, I think it's a very simple mechanic. So I think they were great. They had some great features that they thought of. They had some great design in mind. They also made it happen. I think that's the best part. No matter how you do it, you make it happen. So that's the best part that they did. I think if they were more aware about little aspects of their product, that would have made them very clear and a very vocal group. I think that would have been fantastic. The next team was Soleil Serenity,
Yeah.
and I can pronounce that. It's just rhyming. It's too many sirs in one word. But they made a massaging solution, and which was very interesting. It massages your head, and for me, it wasn't a product. It was an experience, because I had to sit there and get my head massaged. So it was fun, and the best thing is that they started to take simple things around them and they clubbed them together to make something that was wonderful. So that's what I feel is creativity.
Soleil Serenity, it was a soft-spoken group, and it was totally a personal product. And when after Nirman sat and got his demo done, got his massage done, we were very convinced.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be happy. And
Absolutely.
the kids of course took us to the journey of what was the original idea, from having it clipped to the seat to having it clipped to the pillow. So different ideas, and where the fan would be located, and things like that. So it was good to see that from there. Then they got that, like what he said, was they assembled things which they got in the market. I didn't even know that such a massager existed. I didn't know that. So then we learned a lot. At least I learned a lot looking at the students. So it was a good product, and very nicely. Some of them were not very strong presenters, but still a good team effort. A very good team effort.
I think they took a sewing machine and they took that little thing that comes in the market
Yes,
and they
yes.
just clubbed it together.
Okay.
I think that was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that was really unbelievable on their part. And the other added feature was that music was playing constantly. So that's a nice way to add to the aesthetic experience of having a head massage. So that was good thought on their part. I think they could have also increased their target market. They could have targeted offices as well, as they have relaxing spaces in offices. So they could just have that kind of a massage machine over there in the relaxing spaces in the offices. So the people working over there can have a better time working in the office. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's a simple product. It's for relaxing, and the massager, as Nirman said, it was very good. Only thing they could work upon is the TV ad. There was some dubbing issue in that, and it could have been made more compact. Otherwise, the presentation was good and product was very good. I would say that. The next team, made the multi-sectional fan. Well, the product they displayed was not ready yet, and so the idea could not be conveyed. So that's the one thing, they didn't have a working product at that time. And the secondly, they were not very sure about the target market. They had two sections: target strategy versus target customer.
Customers, yeah.
So it didn't come out very clear, the presentation and the product both.
Yes, definitely. As you pointed out, the product didn't come across very well. They should have probably explained a bit more about the removable container aspect of their product, which they completely missed upon. So it just looked like a normal pan with three sections in it. And the other thing which I felt about that group was that there was just too much text on the screen. So it was like a huge bombardment of text and huge bombardment of information, which so it kind of became difficult to focus on the product, what they were speaking, and the text on the screen.
Yeah, and the product is good. It's really good. It would be definitely useful if later on, when we heard what the actual innovation was, to have different containers in the three compartments. A really good product, but it was not effectively delivered, and they were, as Japji mentioned, the slides were very, very heavily loaded with text, and that was a bombardment. The presentation was slightly weak. Maybe if they had just put in some more amount of hard work, gotten prepared earlier, then they could have revised and looked at their work. That is all that was needed in that product, and maybe been more vocal about the, selling the product and explaining the merits of the product. That was what was deficient in that group. That is all.
Pan Cuisiner. I wish their prototype was as good as this name, because the thing is that they had a wonderful idea. Their prototype just didn't match that level. And sometimes when you don't have great prototypes, one of the things that balances it out is usually your great presentation. Like, at least you can deliver your idea very well and say that, oh, this is what our prototype is, but this is where we want to go. I think that was lacking too in this group. And at some level, the girls in this group were not quite excited about their product. And when you're not excited about your product, you cannot make a single penny of profit. So I think that's what it was.
Next one.
Next one is Safe India Solution. It was a foldable helmet. I think I loved the design that they had. It's a very innovative design, folding a helmet and creating, it's just golden. I think one of the things that they had to do was put a little bit of effort into speaking and delivering their ideas, and also talk about what problems they faced in a more positive tone. I think if they had done that, it would have been more powerful.
A good product, definitely. Interesting product because it was a foldable helmet, and I think considering what excuses people come up with, actually everybody comes up with excuses, they did too. So the excuses is we do not wear helmets because it's cumbersome, it's difficult to carry. So folding is definitely an innovation. It's a good product. They didn't have a TVC for whatever reason, they lost, I think, their pen drive, and then it was not very well demonstrated. If I lose something which is very essential, I would double my effort to compensate for the lack of something. So I would have been more effusive and explain more and be more charged and passionate about the product. That was missing in that group. Otherwise, the product idea is excellent.
Definitely, the product idea was very excellent, and I think it would have been much better if they had actually explained what they were thinking and how different was it from a similar product which had hinges on the side of the helmet, and how different was their product and what they actually intended to do with that product. If they had just made a bit more effort and about explaining that product, it would have made a huge impact on their presentation overall. And I think they could have had a bit more stage presence as well. There was a lot of miscommunication, mismatch between the group members as well. So it didn't feel like one unit, but several different sections within a group.
Yeah, that's right. And talking about the existing product, they mentioned that another product is available at $99. So they are making a very affordable product, but at the same time, they have to make sure that the product is present when they actually demonstrate. So it could not roll the purpose for which it was made, and I suppose the material was not available as they mentioned. But the idea is very good, and the problem is very unique. People don't like to carry big helmets, so that is acceptable. So the product is good. The next team,
IVIST.
IVIST, the TV viewing eye sensor. That is a very interesting product which I've seen, and to start with their logo Vista, it was a very good logo. You turn it upside down and you can read it the same way. Talking about the product, it was a good product. It had this sensor that would detect the distance and give a notification. So it is a useful product, but they could have extended the uses beyond the children. So overall, a nice effort, but it needs a lot of customization and improvisation.
Definitely, as she said that they could have extended their uses beyond children, and they could have also extended the uses as well, the usage of the specs from just the distance to many more other features. Because paying $600 just for a specs that locates the distance and signals the parents, that isn't perfectly in sync with each other. Also, the other thing which I felt was that the demo video should have had an actual demo rather than just saying that this is a glass, it does this, and that's it. So probably a bit more explanation and an actual presentation of what's happening with the product that would have helped a bit more to their product.
True. The demo video could have been more explanatory, but then they made up for it by demonstrating the product later on. It was a good. There was a good presenter, and good explanation came from. And then I got this impression it was a very sincere group. It was a very sincere group. They were dedicated to what they were dedicated to the product. The TV ad was interesting, clear presentation, and there was after the whole presentation we come to know that one of them has always been very quiet and he's shown great leadership qualities, Pragnesh. So that is exactly what IPM I think targets, that getting out all the talent out and hidden talents and hidden potential, and making leaders out of somebody who may be thought of as being so quiet in class. He must just not have had the opportunity to do it, to express himself. So this is such a great platform for the speakers, the non-speakers, for all the hidden talents, and this product was good.
It was a cool logo, cool product, cool slides, cool pitch. I think they were very interesting in the way they pitched. Their pitch was totally different than anyone else, and they were bang on. They had the problem very nicely defined, they had the statistics very nicely defined, and they took us from our state of being to what the problem is to here's the solution. So I love the way they pitched. I think that was fantastic. Another thing is distribution channel. They were very particular about their distribution channel. A lot of groups that came up here said that, okay, our distribution channel is going to be from retailer to consumer, manufacturer to consumer, that's it. These guys actually told us how that's going to be. These guys said that, hey, this is what we're doing, and these are the channels, these are the people, these are the companies that we would want to contact. And I think that was wonderful. They had a great eye for detail, so that was wonderful. One of the questions I had was, how willing would someone actually be to wear these specs just for the time being of watching television? But I think if they improvise upon their design and make it less bulky, it would have been really fantastic. So, go ahead.
The one thing I'd like to add is they were very receptive about the judges' comment. So when we talked about its size or anything, they accepted it, and they had a plan how to improve it, the time sensor and everything. So that was a very good quality, and the team effort could be.
I think at the end, Pragnesh,
Yes.
the main guy who was speaking a lot, that guy he said that I want to patent this and would love to know more about how can this happen. So I think that was a great enthusiasm I saw. That was really exciting. So that brings us to the end of the third day of IPM, and it was really exciting seeing all of these products, and it was wonderful.